Writer-director Jeremy Saulnier has already brought us the indie favorites Blue Ruin and Green Room. Now he's got a bigger budget and a wider release as well because this is a Netflix original. Let's talk about Rebel Ridge. Hey guys, Dan here. This is Dan Reviews It. Welcome to my spoiler-free review for the new Netflix film Rebel Ridge. This is streaming right now. It's getting great accolades from the critics. Rotten Tomatoes, I think, has this at a 94%. And the two movies I mentioned at the top, Blue Ruin and Green Room, also are in the 90s on Rotten Tomatoes. So, look, this guy can certainly tell a story, and he does it all. He writes, produces, directs, and edits his films. So this is the latest in that line, and it includes a star-making turn, too, for the lead here. We'll get into all this in just a moment. First, though, let me welcome you back to Dan Reviews It. If you're one of my subscribers already, thank you so much. If you are not, please consider subscribing and hit that notification bell, or you can just like this video or comment below. All that stuff does help the channel out as well. Okay, so the gentleman in question here, Aaron Pierre. I am vaguely familiar with him. He was in this miniseries, I think last year or maybe the year before, called The Underground Railroad. He got a lot of accolades for that. And I believe he is signed on for the next season of The Morning Show on Apple TV Plus, one of my favorite shows. So, he'll be a part of that too. But boy, if this is not a star-making turn, I don't know what is. He is excellent in this movie. So let's talk about the basic plot here. So he basically plays this former Marine who in the first scene is riding his bike with a whole lot of cash because he is trying to bail out his cousin. And he gets stopped by a couple of cops. One of them, played by David Denman, who was Roy on The Office, and he's done a few other things over the years of note. But, that's certainly what you might know him best from. And basically they seize the money and, put him in a real bind, because now, his cousin's going to be there for, a longer term, and he's got to figure out his next move. So he ends up going to the police station, and there he, starts to uncover the police department's corruption, and hold on the city. So this, is, an action movie for all intents and purposes, but, it is certainly a smarter action movie than we're used to seeing. And it's also got peaks and valleys. There is, there's some action sequences, but then we go back into the development of the characters and the development of the story and, the writing. And then, here we go again, another nice action sequence. And unlike those other two movies I had mentioned, Green Room and Blue Ruin, the body count in this movie actually is remarkably low. There's some bloodshed for sure, and there's some violence, but it's a smarter movie for sure. Don Johnson is in this as well. He's the head of the department, Anna Sophia Robb, Emery Cohen, and James Cromwell is in the movie as well. I got to be honest, I didn't actually realize he was still alive, but yes, he's still with us. And I hadn't seen him in a while, but he pops up here as well. And Don Johnson, look, he sort of became, I don't want to say he was a joke, but look, his two big things, were, in the 80s, Miami Vice, and then in the 90s, Nash Bridges, and I don't think, those were, the most high concept shows. Well, Miami Vice, I guess, when it first started, sort of changed the game a little bit, the way it incorporated the soundtrack and whatever. We could get into a discussion about that. But, I don't know, he sort of fell off, over the years, and he is one, that I think, Tarantino helped resurrect the career. He loves to do that with each movie. It seems like there's somebody else he's sort of plucking, that we maybe hadn't seen in a while. And Johnson had a memorable turn in Django Unchained. And, he's been in a few movies since then. But boy, he's got a really juicy role here as well. This guy, Jeremy Saulnier, who wrote and directed this, like those other movies I mentioned, he really knows how to craft a story, and make you care about certain characters, even if maybe they're not doing the right thing all the time. And that's a fine line, because it's easy to write, a hero that does no wrong, like the Equalizer or something like that. But this character is certainly flawed, and he does not always do the right thing, but it seems like the right thing in the moment for him, and also to expose what's going on inside the police department. So there's reasoning behind it, but it's not like one of these things where he is just completely infallible like a John Wick or the Equalizer. And those could be fun movies, certainly. And I've given high marks to some of them, but it's really nice to actually see an action movie that has good characters and a good script and isn't just let's show you all the violence. No, this doesn't do that. And let's get back for a second before we wrap here to Aaron Pierre. Man, he is going to be one to watch. I couldn't quite place him at first, so I did have to look him up. I said, okay, Underground Railroad, I saw that. I think maybe he had like a bit part in something else I saw, but that's what he's most known for. And apparently he was supposed to be in the upcoming Blade movie, but that fell through, I guess, due to contract disputes. And I'm not even sure if the Blade movie is even happening anymore, but he was maybe going to be a part of the Marvel universe with that. Boy, this guy has it. I mean, he's in, I think, pretty much every scene of this movie, and he is, some of these scenes, he is just carrying them, on his back with his great performance. But look, the script is good too. Can't deny that. I do think in the latter half of the movie it gets a little bit lost in some of its messaging, and they lose the thread of the plot a little bit maybe. But this is easily one of the better action movies I've seen in a long time. And boy, when I think Netflix action movie, I think those really high star, like, okay, let's throw an A-lister in here like a Kevin Hart or Mark Wahlberg or whatever, and that will sell the movie. That will be, the selling point. Here, look, Don Johnson, certainly people know him, but I wouldn't call him necessarily an A-lister these days, and our lead here is up and coming for sure. So what they did this time was decided to get a script and a director that knows what he's doing, and use their money that way. And the result is a good one. I leave Rebel Ridge with an A-, and you can check this out on Netflix right now. And watch for Aaron Pierre. He's going to be somebody. I know it. All right, thanks for watching Dave Reviews It, and I'll see you next time.